Tunatumia lugha zote. If you're comfortable using English, please do. If you're comfortable using Swahili, please go ahead. Wewe tu maamuzi yako.
Habarini za asubuhi, mabibi na mabwana. Nafikiri hii forum inanifanya najisikia at home sana, kwa sababu mara nyingi kusimama mbele za watu namna hii inakuwa ni changamoto, lakini kwa jinsi ambavyo dada amekuja, it makes me feel a bit more at home. Thank you very much for the introduction. Naitwa Arthur Mdolwa, natokea Assemble Insurance Tanzania Limited, formerly known as AAR Insurance kwa wale ambao walikuwa wanaifahamu AAR. Sisi tulikuwa AAR zamani. So I'm here as Assemble. Upande wangu mimi niko kwenye upande wa mauzo na upande wa business retention. Kwa leo nita share a few things Leo nita share a product and a very quick background na pamoja na product ambayo tumeitengeneza kwa ajili ya TLS. We have been engaging TLS kwa muda mrefu sasa, and getting this forum is actually a blessing. Kwa hiyo tunashukuru sana kwa wakati huu, na I am sure by the time we are done tutaweza kuweza kujua exactly what kind of decision we can make kwa upande wa products. Sawa? Sorry, may I ask how much time do I have here again? Moderator? How much time do I have? 10 minutes. So I'll just go straight to the product so that we can talk more about the product. Naomba ni project kidogo. Yeah, so a very quick mission and vision. Assemble, we have our vision, which is to be the insurance partner that protects Africa's future, but then we also have our mission that is delivering value by empowering people to take control of things that matter the most. So we want to be able to make sure that TLS, mnafanya nyinyi kazi yenu ambayo imewaleta mjini, lakini upande wa health, we will take care of that. So we want to provide solutions that will enable you to make sure that you concentrate on your core responsibilities. We have 5 core values, which is empowerment, ethics, efficiency, flexibility, and legacy. A quick Assemble Insurance, what do you call this? This is where we came from. Ni kama tulivyosema kwamba tulikuwa Assemble zamani, tulikuwa AAR. Na sasa hivi tumekuwa Assemble, lakini it's been a while, meaning that we've been around for more than 30 years already. So which means we have the experience and we have the numbers. We have distribution peer offices in and around Tanzania, Arusha, Dar es Salaam, Mwanza, Zanzibar, Dodoma. In fact, we are in all, these are where the offices are, lakini we are in all the areas ambazo Tanzania ina mikoa. Kwa hiyo tunatoa huduma huko kwa upande wa medical. Kwa hiyo popote unapokuwepo wewe unaweza ukapata huduma za Assemble. Kwa upande wa facilitation, in terms of facilities, kwa wale ambao wataugua, watapata shida, wakashindwa kupata huduma hapa Tanzania, basi tunaweza kuwapeleka nje kwa kutegemeana na product ambayo utakuwa umeichukua. Kwa hiyo tutatoa products 2-3 hapa ambazo mtaziangalia na mtajua ni product gani kwa upande wa uwezo wako. Na uzuri ni kwamba kwa TLS tumetoa products za aina 3. Kwa hiyo you can choose the one that you really would like to have, na zote zina mafao ambayo nitaelekeza hapa pembeni zaidi. Lakini sehemu ambayo unaweza ukakosa huduma ya hapa Tanzania kwa ajili ya labda ufanisi umekosekana kidogo, basi tunaweza kwenda mpaka India. Kuna yule ambaye atachagua product ambayo itampeleka mpaka South Africa, kuna yule anachagua product ambayo inampeleka mpaka labda Kenya. But we have providers wa kutosha kwa kifupi sana. This is what I've just been talking about. Lakini pia kwa upande wa management, wale ambao watakuwa wanapata rufaa ya kutoka Tanzania kwa ajili ya maybe amekwenda kwa specialist akaambiwa bwana kuna tatizo ambalo limezidi kidogo, inabidi tukupeleke nje ya nchi, basi yule specialist atatoa authority kwetu kwamba bwana huyu mtu inabidi tumpeleke either India, Kenya au South Africa. Then we will through our case and care management team, we have a team that deals with all the hospital admission matters that will actually be engaged, and they will be the ones that will take you outside the country for treatment, na watakuwa wanasimamia kila kitu ambacho wewe unahitaji. Kwa upande hata wa ICU case, mtu ametoka huku yuko ICU anapelekwa India, basi ataenda kwenye upande wa ndege ambazo zina ICU facility kama Emirates, ambazo zitampeleka mpaka kama ni India au South Africa, na kule upande wa kule pia watamchukua na ambulance na kumpeleka straight to ICU. So we take care of those details in a very, very serious manner. Kwa upande wa ambulance, as you can see also we have an ambulance outside there. Kwa wale ambao wanapata shida, wakapata tatizo usiku, mchana, wakahitaji ambulance, basi ambulance is just a call away. We also have a 24-hour call center ambayo inamsaidia mtu popote pale. Ukipata shida, ukapiga pale simu, ukao labda uko hospitali, umepata matatizo hospitali, labda hawakusikilizi vizuri, basi you call us and we will also take care of you from that point of view as well. We have also rescue and evacuation. Kwa yule mtu ambaye atakuwa amepata dharura katika kazi au katika mienendo yake ya kila siku, akatoka kwenye tunaita rescue and evacuation. Kwa pale ulipopata tatizo, tunakuchukua, tunaku-evacuate to the nearest hospital, lakini pia ikibidi uwe evacuated by air pia tunafanya, au by road ambulance pia tunafanya. Kwa hiyo you shouldn't have to worry about that. Our service approach, we do our best to make sure that we do the right thing the first time, kwa sababu we are dealing with medical insurance or health insurance. This is a very, very sophisticated portfolio of insurance, na it is very sensitive as well. Kwa hiyo we make sure as much as possible we can make sure that wewe ukipata huduma unaipata huduma sahihi kwa wakati ule unaohitaji. Ndio maana tunaweka call center, ndio maana tunaweka kwa TLS atakuwepo mtu ambayo kama tukimanage sasa kufinalize this arrangement, atakuwepo mtu au watu wawili ambao watakuwa dedicated na hii portfolio ya TLS ambao wanaitwa customer relationship officers. Lakini apart from that kuna call center ambayo iko 24 hours ambayo inakusaidia wewe kupata huduma. Lakini pendapo pale mtu tuna encourage watu waende kwenye hospitali zetu. Tuna hospitali zaidi ya 650. Tuna encourage watu waende kwenye hospitali zetu kwanza. Lakini tokea kuna labda umepata kazi iko ndani sana huko, labda hospitali yetu haipo kule, you can use your money, but make sure that you carry your receipts so that you can come and claim within 30 days. And once we gotten that claim within the time that you bring it, within 30 days, and then we'll be paid within the 7 days ambazo zitakuwa working days. So this is the part that I wanted to go quickly and rush into. Samahani, nilikuwa na mafua hapo nyuma kidogo na libesi kidogo, you bear with me. This is the part that we have to pay attention. You kama mnaona vizuri, but I will make sure that I can elaborate well. Sasa kwenye upande wa insurance, mara nyingi tunaongelea inpatient ambao ni matibabu ya kulazwa, outpatient ambao ni matibabu ya kutwa. Now this is what you have to understand ukiongelea kuhusu medical insurance. Maternity kwa upande wa kina mama, matibabu ya uzazi, and then we talk about chronic, matibabu ya magonjwa sugu, labda na last expense sana. That's basically medical insurance. Sawa? Hivi vingine vyote vina fall under hivyo vitu vitano vikuu. Sawa? Kwa hiyo inpatient, outpatient, sorry, I forgot also, dental and optical, matibabu ya meno na ya macho. Sawa. Hivyo vitu 7 vikubwa ndio vinafanya insurance inaitwa insurance kwenye medical. Kwa hiyo hivi vitu vyote vinakuwa vina limits. Na kwa upande wa medical insurance, ile upande wa inpatient ni ile matibabu ya kulazwa. Yale yanakuwa na either unaweza kuwa kulazwa in country, within the country, or within East Africa, or internationally. Hapo tunaelewana? Kwa hiyo ni inpatient, outpatient, dental, optical, maternity, chronic, and last expense. Last expense ni bahati mbaya umefariki, kuna ile ukiproduce burial certificate, tunakupa kama mkono wa pole tuseme. Kwa hiyo ile pale, hivyo vitu vichache ndio vinatengeneza medical insurance scheme ya mtu yoyote au ya kampuni yoyote. So individually mtakuwa mna hivyo vitu. So I'm going to explain what we have proposed for this group. Sawa? Kwa hiyo we have 3 main products. Kwa hiyo unapata mpaka mafao ya milioni 50 kwa mtu mmoja. And then option ya mwisho sasa ambayo ni ya Tanzania peke yake, unapata mpaka matibabu ya milioni 5.7 kwa upande wa inpatient. Sawa? Kwa hiyo geographical location yake au coverage yake ni East Africa kwa upande wa ile option ya kwanza. Option ya pili ni East Africa, lakini pia kuna South Africa na India. Unapewa kidogo na nchi nyingine 2-3. Option ya tatu ni Tanzania only. Upande wa inpatient sasa, ukiwa umelazwa kwa sababu labda ya accident, emergency, au ukahitaji intensive care au theater course, all these will be covered within the limits ambazo nimekuambia. And then kwa upande wa nursing fees, medical expenses and charges wakati umelazwa, hivi unakuwa viko covered vyote. Surgeons fees, anesthetics, physicians fees, they are covered under inpatient. Prescribed medication under inpatient, and drugs are covered. X-rays ukihitaji wakati uko ndani ya inpatient, MRI, CT scan zinakuwa covered. Sawa? Pathology, diagnosis tests and procedures will be covered when you are hospitalized. This is inpatient I'm talking about. And then also the external medical appliances, including but not limited to hearing aid, nebulizers, crutches. Ukihitaji hizi, sasa ukishatoka kwenye, kwa mfano umepata accident, unahitaji aid that will help you to get back or will assist you to get back to your normal position, kwa mfano crutches au wheelchair, hearing aid, hiyo pia unapata mpaka kwenye limit. Kwa upande wa option option A, sorry, ni 500,000, it gives you a limit of 500,000, and then option B is 800,000, na ile option C ya Tanzania only is 300,000. International coverage, hii tumeshaiongelea, ambayo itakuwa na hii international coverage pia maana yake nyingine kwa wale ambao watachukua international coverage, ambao ni option A na B. Maana yake hata kama ukiwa una safari ya kutoka nje ya nchi, unahitaji kwenda kwa mfano Singapore, kwa hiyo unahitaji labda ile nini, visa. Kwa hiyo utakuja kwetu, tutakupa ile barua ambayo inakuwa tunaita kama ni travel letter. Unaenda unapata pale visa yako, utaipeleka tu pale kwenye embassy ya ile sehemu ambayo unakwenda, watakupatia visa, na itakuwa ni visa ambayo inakusaidia ukipata shida wakati huko upande wa pili ukalazwa, basi hii insurance bado inakupa sasa, inakupa coverage. Kwa upande wa outpatient, upande wa pre-existing conditions, chronic conditions inakupa 500,000 kwa 10,000 kwa 1,000,000. Sawa? Congenital conditions, hiyo ni bahati mbaya mama ame give birth to a child ambao they are medically impaired but can be treated. Kwa mfano ametoka njiti, anahitaji incubation. Huo ni mfano na unatokeaga. Unakuwa mpaka 500,000, 10,000, na hiyo ya mwisho ni 1,000,000. Nyingine ni physiotherapy is covered, na psychology upande wa psychiatric treatment we cover you up to 20% of the inpatient limit. Kwa pia hiyo iko covered. Go fast kidogo, sina muda mrefu. Outpatient tunaanza na 600,000 kwa ile upande wa option 1 Kwa hiyo ni matibabu ya kutwa. 1.5 milioni kwa upande wa option B na 500,000 kwa upande wa option C. Maternity kuna 2 milioni, 4 milioni na 1 milioni. Optical 200,000, 300,000, ile ya mwisho haina optical, na pia dental 200,000, 300,000 na ile ya mwisho pia haina dental. Last expense, bahati mbaya tukifariki, I'm not saying that should happen, ni 1 milioni. Tunatoa 1 milioni kwa option A na option B, 500,000 kwa option C, ile ambayo ni ya Tanzania peke yake. Sasa to move into to the premiums. Bahati nzuri sana hii cover pia inamcover na mzazi. So wazazi wetu ambao tuko nao nyumbani pia hii cover tunaweza kununulia pale tunapoweza kununua. Sawa? Kwa hiyo cover hii kwa upande wa option A ya parent, option A ya parent ni 908,000, lakini adult kwa upande wa sisi sasa ambao tumekaa hapa ni 609,000 kwa upande wa adult, lakini ukiwa na watoto wetu kila mtoto itakuwa ni 519,000. Option B itakuwa ni 1,137,000 kwa adult na 877,000 kwa adult ambayo ni option B ni 1,137,000 kwa adult, na spouse ni 877,000, and then child ni 747,000. Sawa? Kwa upande wa parents, kwa plans za IP and OP only, kwa hiyo una option pia kusema bwana mimi nahitaji tu niseme wazazi wangu mimi nawafanyia IP and OP only, hivi vingine vyote tunaachana navyo. Kwa hiyo ina premium yake ambayo itakuwa ni ndogo zaidi hizo ambazo nimetaja mwanzoni. Kwa itakuwa ni 773,000 kwa upande wa parent. Kwa upande wa adult itakuwa ni 518,000, kwa upande wa child ni 442,000. Ukiwa umechagua inpatient na outpatient peke yake. Sawa? Lakini pia kwa upande wa ukitaka kusema inpatient, outpatient, dental and optical only, hiyo ni option ambayo unaweza kufanya ukiachana na vile vingine vyote ili iwe affordable. Kwa hiyo itakuwa ni 841,000 kwa parent, alafu adult 564,000 na kwa child ni 480,000. Mimi naomba niishie hapo kwa sasa hivi, maana moderator ananiangalia anataka kunipiga ngumi. Asante mama. Jamani, kwa maswali yoyote tutakuwepo yetu. Please karibuni pale mkiwa mna maswali yoyote, tutawapatia more clarity whenever you need to do that. Asanteni sana.
Asante sana. Kuru, nafikiri pia tumejifunza kwa sababu pia hili swala la insurance, health coverage na nini kidogo wanasheria imekuwa pia wako hapa, na amesema tafadhali sana kwa wewe ambao unatamani uelewe zaidi, usiache kupita pale ukajifunze zaidi, wako kwa ajili yetu. Lakini pia Assemble Insurance ili waweze kufanya kazi na sisi kama wana TLS wanahitaji wapate wanachama 100. So far waliojiandikisha wako 50 na kitu. Kwa hiyo kuna hiyo namba ambayo inatakiwa iongezeke. Sasa kwa wewe ambao umesikia hii taarifa na umekuwa interested, tafadhali sana nenda kajiandikisha ili tuweze kufika hiyo namba ambayo tunatakiwa tufike na tuweze kupata hii huduma. Niwaambieni jamani, kuna saa mtu unaweza kupata ukaumwa ghafla na hauna kitu mfukoni, na unaenda hospitali unaambiwa bili laki ngapi huko, lakini ukiwa na insurance yako mambo yako yanakuwa nini fresh kabisa. Kwa hiyo naomba sana mawakili tujitahidi. Sasa we move to the first session. Initially it was to be the second one, yeah? You remember the conversation we had earlier? We have moved some of the sessions. So we are going to have a session on legal practice management. And for now, we are going to have 2 presenters. That is Advocate Geoffrey Dimoso and Advocate Harry Mbiru. Now we'll start with Advocate Geoffrey Dimoso. Just so you at least get to know him, Advocate Geoffrey Dimoso is a partner at ALN Tanzania and the head of banking and finance practice with over 15 years of experience in private practice, having previously worked as an in-house lawyer in the banking sector. Geoffrey specializes in banking and finance, project, competition, and employment law. He regularly advises domestic and international banks on matters of banking and corporate law. He is also involved in cross-border transactions and engages with various regulators in Tanzania. Geoffrey's expertise has been recognized by leading global legal directors, including the Legal 500, Chambers and Partners, where he has consistently been ranked as the leading lawyer in banking and finance and corporate and commercial law. His work is regularly acknowledged for its depth and precision, particularly in dealing with regulatory issues and high-stake commercial transactions. Geoffrey is a practicing advocate of the High Court of Tanzania and holds a Master's of Law degree in Corporate and Commercial Law and a Bachelor of Law degree from the University of Dar es Salaam. In addition, he's a certified director by the Commonwealth Center for Corporate Governance and the Institute of Directors, Tanzania. His close collaboration with the government of Tanzania on various legal matters endorses him his standing as a trusted legal advisor in both public and private sector. Hivi mnaona jinsi tulivyokuwa na nondo zitakazokuja hapa. Hivi mmeelewa wenzangu? Naomba nikukaribishe wakili msomi uje useme pamoja na wajumbe waliokuwa hapa. Karibu sana. Una dakika 30.
Habari ya asubuhi, good morning to you all. QTK for that nice introduction about me. But in the end, my name is Geoffrey Dimoso. I'm a lawyer and advocate of the High Court in Tanzania. Perhaps before I continue with my presentation, please allow me to also extend a note of appreciation to our Law Society for choosing this most topical theme at the moment, because we have got a lot of conflicting priorities. This year, we'll be having our general election. Our learned brothers and sisters have gone through serious troubles. I was hoping those could have been themes for our AGM this year, but because our law society is fully balanced, it is the right time for us to discuss things outside our norm, beyond law. So it's very relevant, and thank you to TLS members. Again, just to acknowledge the audience, and with all due respect to my very senior lawyers, just by show of hands, how many of us come from the law firms? Very few. And either within the government or private sector? Thank you. That helps me to shape my presentation today, because much as the title says law firm management and people governance, knowingly or unknowingly, even some of us who are working within other companies as in-house lawyers, we by and large run our own law firms. As I was introduced, I had an advantage of starting my career as a junior lawyer with a law firm for 2 years. Then I moved as in-house lawyer within the banking sector for close to 15 years. Then I realized my passion is outside there. Then I exited, rejoined the private practice. Why am I mentioning this? Because whatever I'm going to discuss today, don't count the number of years that I've been working within the law firm or as in-house lawyer. Just take as my personal experience. Out of my many years of experience, these are the things that I have learned. With that background, let me go back to the presentation, which the title is very clear: Law Firm Management and People Governance. And to me, at the end of the day, what I want us to achieve is to appreciate how can we build a sustainable law firm. And even if you are working within corporate bodies, then how can you contribute to your organization by making sure that whatever you are doing at the end of the day makes your service relevant to your employer, to your organization. If I pose a question now, how many of us out of our regular day-to-day, again, by show of hands? Okay. Why? Because those are the things that at the end of the day constitute management of a law firm or a legal department within an organization. We are being required outside our legal profession to do things which have a sustainable, not sustainable, which have implication on the survival of our businesses. Why? Because the decision we make, the actions we take, at the end of the day, will have an implication to our business. So in summary, what is it all about law firm management? Is to do with planning, organization, leading, controlling, and the administrative and the operational activities that have bearing within our organization. All of this have one common goal, is to ensure we deliver services to our client, but as well as sustainability of our business. So we have two priorities. On one side, our client interests, and then on the other side, sustainability of business. If you compromise any of these two, at the end of the day, be sure your business is not going to last longer. Why? Because if your clients are unhappy, always they will exit from you. But again, if you improperly run your business, at the end of the day, you find yourself, you do not have sufficient resources to support your business. So, in summary, law firm management is all about planning, organizing, administration, your operational activities with two main goals. Clients on one side, but on the other side, sustainability of your business. If today we decide, three of us, to form a law firm, what could be the potential issues that will give us sleepless nights? Is my partner trustworthy? Am I going to provide relevant services to my clients? What about competition? But can we do only three of us throughout? Or at a certain point in time, we may need people to join us in order to ensure we continue growing our business, but as well as providing excellent services to our client. So there are close to 5 or 6 pillars that are very relevant when we discuss law firm management. And the first one is strategic planning. everything starts on the round table. You need to sit down, decide from the word go, as we are going to form a law firm, what is our short and long-term goal, strategic plan. Most people will always tend to have myopic view, just to see, I am a graduate, I have not been able to get any employment, I want to employ myself. Let me start a law firm. No crime about that. But over and above, your immediate priorities, you need to sit down, warm the chair, and think, where and how do I want to achieve my desired end? If your plan is to run the law firm for 5 years, just put a plan saying, for me, because now I do not have any employment, I can run the law firm for 5 years. Thereafter, I should be sure either I become a business person or I will be employed. But if you have long-term plans, then before doing anything, have a clear strategic plan. But together with that, ensure from the word go, you have very clear policies and guidelines on how you are going to handle your financial affairs. Be it yourself as a solo practitioner, or it is a partnership. Most important, have very clear and documented rules that will guide you on how to handle your financial affairs. Why? Experience tells a lot. Most of our law firms, not here in Tanzania, even outside Tanzania, they have ended up with, because they overlooked this very crucial point right from the beginning when they were establishing their law firm. But as I said, if you have a long-term plan, even if you start as a solo practitioner, be mindful of your human capital. Because you can start alone today, but over time, because of the increasing demand, you may need people to support you. And I need to make a disclaimer here. When I say human capital, I do not necessarily mean lawyers. You may also need people within your law firm who are non-lawyers. And they are very instrumental, by the way. But at the end of the day, because we have a long-term plan, we need also to be mindful of our CRM, Client Relationship Management. The bigger question to ask there, and I'll come back to that, is, do I need this, do I need clients, or it is the clients who need me? The moment you appreciate what is the truth, it will help you to plan right from the beginning. Why? Because if you think it is the clients who needs you, you will be the one to decide as and when you will be available. But if you say you are the one who is looking for the clients, you will find your own means to make available and known to your clients. So CRM is also very important. But again, our practice, our legal practice has been evolving. There are a lot of things that have been coming up. And we need to appreciate the fact that over time there have been changing needs. So another very important aspect that we also need to be mindful as and when we are considering to establish a law firm, even within the departments, legal department in an organization, is practice development. I know our law society has been very aggressive in making sure that we have all the opportunities to attend continuing legal education, but that is not enough. You need to challenge yourself, areas that are relevant for the purpose of sustainability of your business and your personal career. But it's now the reality of the matter. technology. In the past, and I'm being careful again here, in the past, we were not really bothered about technology as the lawyers because we thought our profession is more about our intellect and the statutes. If I'm good on interpretation of the law, fair and good. I don't need to bother myself. But with the changing needs at the time, it is also important to appreciate that we need to be innovative and make better use of the technology. As I said, the legal practice has been evolving over time. Those who are very senior advocates will appreciate the fact that in the past it was more traditional to have solo practitioners. People were really not bothered about having a partner. Dimoso Law Chambers. It's me, myself, I'm the partner. That's it. So there are different ways of structuring our law firm. You could be a solo practitioner. That's fine. No problem about that. Or partnership, meaning more than one. But globalization has also challenged our legal practice. We find ourselves oftentimes required to do things outside our jurisdiction. Or we are targeting clients outside our jurisdiction. There comes now another model of running law firm, international law firms. And I take note of the law firms here in Tanzania, which are primarily international law firms. They were established either here in Tanzania or outside Tanzania and then expanded globally. Each one of those models have its own advantages and disadvantages. The message here is there is no strict and hard rule on how to structure your law firm. If you are slow in terms of trusting, you can say, I'm happy to work alone, and then I can hire people under me. Or even depending on the nature of the practice that you are working on. Typical, as I have given an example. For the litigants, which is traditionally our main practice, it is fine to work as solo practitioner because most of the things you do, they are more or less repetitive, but it requires you continuous learning. But if you have a different, and there comes now the point about strategic plan. If you, as a law firm, you want to do things more than one practice area, like our law firm, we, by and large, we do very little of litigation, less than 15% of our entire business, which means we are primarily a corporate law firm. It's not possible to work as a solo practitioner. Why? Because some other discipline, some other practice area require support to complement other practice areas. As I said, I grew up in the banking sector. I consider myself primarily as I am a banking and finance person. But there are times I'm required to advise my banks, my banking clients, who are intending to merge with another bank outside Tanzania. And that's not the area that I have specialized. I will need now support from my mergers and acquisition team to complement my offering to this client, because in the end, we have to make sure that we meet our clients' expectation. But as I said, for the international law firms, which again, what we are doing in my law firm, we have found ourselves doing a lot of cross-border work. And it's not possible for me to be familiar with the laws of Uganda, for argument's sake, or of Somalia. Just now, when I was preparing to come on the podium, I saw an email, somebody asking me they are looking for a lawyer to support them in relation to drafting the laws, review of the laws of Somaliland. And I have received the email just a few minutes ago. I am in Tanzania, but because this person already knows me, then I need to speak to my partner in Somali to take this work forward. But I will remain to be the contact person. Why? Because already that client has built trust on me. He wants me to advise them where or whom they should approach to do the work. So the message here is no strict and hard rules on how to structure your law firm. What is important is what are your goals? And there are a couple of things that you may need to take into consideration, as I have indicated on this slide. For example, your areas of practice, your client base, your growth ambition. All of this will help you to determine appropriate structure for your law firm. Now, as I said, when we are intending to establish a law firm, there are two main priorities. One, sustainability of the business, and then on the other side is our client, CRM. These are the things, and we always think that our clients are more interested on our legal reasoning. That's not the case. Our clients are more interested on the outcome. Of course, some clients are a bit sensitive. They would want you to take them through step by step. But most of our clients would always appreciate that we give them the appropriate solution. And we take full ownership of the things that we do. As and when there will be any issues, we should be available to explain to our client what went wrong. And because of that, there are about 4 things that I thought I should as well emphasize, which I believe, either through experience or attending classes, some of these were brought to your attention. But for me, these are the vivid live examples that have really helped to sharpen my career. One is efficiency. That is almost everything to our client. Our client wants us to deliver quality work. Why? Because they expect us to provide a feasible solution. And for you to provide a feasible solution, you need to be very efficient in terms of your skills, how you do your researches, in terms of your presentation, but at the end, in terms of our problem solving. But another thing that also our clients, and for me I think it's also very relevant to our clients, is our turnaround time. I know, and this again particularly relevant to those who are working as solo practitioners, there are times we find ourselves overwhelmed. We promise a mountain, we deliver a block. Why? Because we are always moved by our emotions without giving ourselves opportunity to assess how realistic our promises are. For example, from where I'm working, it is a rule of the thumb. Within 40 minutes on a working day, you should respond to an email from your colleague. If it's Monday to Friday, I'm in the office, my colleague is asking me, can you send me a revised edition of the Companies Act? Regardless of my position, 40 minutes, I should respond. Just acknowledge, yeah, I've seen your email, let me check from my database. For clients, this is the promise we have made. 6 hours, I should respond to my client. And I have made this as my commitment to my clients. As and when I'm signing my engagement letter, I also give my undertakings. I would always do this. I would always do this. Now, once you always, a promise. Turnaround time. Now, some of us, and I'll give an example for those of us who are doing litigation, we would always promise our clients, I will send you a draft of the plaint or demand notice by tomorrow. Without appreciating that you already have other commitments, but you made very clear to your client, lately by tomorrow, you'll receive my draft of the document. That creates expectation to our client. And they feel so disappointed when we miss our turnaround time. So it's also important for us to make sure that we meet or fulfill our commitment. But it's not bad always to ask for feedback. We always assume once our clients pay us our invoices, our bills, our clients are happy with our work. That is a big no. Because to some clients, paying your fees is bye-bye. They were only waiting for you to accomplish their work before they exit. So it's always important, as and when we are interacting with our client, even when we do not have any live matters, just check with your client if all is well. And you cannot do it by way of sending them a questionnaire. Please fill in whether you are happy with my service or not. Find your own means. Over a cup of coffee, let's meet. I'll buy you cappuccino. Let's talk. And then in the conversation, you'll find your own means how to establish whether your client is happy or unhappy. And the moment your client tells you, thank you for inviting me for coffee, unfortunately, I'm not available. First time, second time, third time, question mark. Because our intention is to remain trusted advisors to our clients. Now, if we do not pay attention to some of these, I call them small but fundamental things, we may end up every day bringing new clients and an existing client exit. And then the last one, not in terms of priority, is continuity. As I said, feedback is important, but more so, the same level of service delivery that we have given to our client, we should remain constant. If I represented my client in a court of appeal case, and I was super sharp, fantastic lawyer, the day my clients ask me to represent them before a resident magistrate court or CMA, would say, no. This time around, I'm not going to put my face. if it was the partner communicating to the client directly, and then for the new matter, you assign a junior, a trainee lawyer to liaise with your client, you are creating a time bomb. Your client will feel unattended. And slowly, they may start looking for other lawyers. The message here is we should constantly remain trusted advisors to our clients. And it really requires beyond our legal knowledge. It requires non-legal commitment, which is what I'm trying to share with you this morning. But at the end of the day, as I said, there are those key issues when it comes to management of the law firms. But the bigger question is, out of those, what matters most? For those who are professing Christianity, one of the prophets of Jesus asked Jesus, out of the 10 commandments, which one is the? And Jesus responded. Now I'm saying, out of all those they have said, in terms of law firm management, these are the things always matters most. And if they are not properly managed, they could be a cause of the death of our law firms. Number one, we should have very clear decision-making process. Why? Because even if you are alone as a solo practitioner, or you are partnership, you work as partnership, if this is not very clear to everybody, there is a problem. Because one partner will decide today to relocate the office to another building. When you come in the morning, another partner fires your receptionist. Before you sit down and discuss, an associate, a junior lawyer, decides to take home all the statutes. We should have very clear, even if these are very small issues, but we should have in place very clear decision-making process. For me, it's not a crime to ask my partners, could you give me permission to attend TLS meeting, AGM? We are all partners, but because our policy says before you are out of office, if you are 2 or you are 4, all other partners should approve it. Be humble, say with all due respect, could you please allow me to do so and so. Clear decision-making place. Now, that goes with discipline and professionalism. And again, these are not the things that we are being taught in class. They require your personal initiatives and commitment. I was traveling yesterday with one of my longtime friends whom we have not met. And he was laughing at me, why have I gained weight? And thank you for assembles. I'll wait for the session in the afternoon. He told me, despite his busy schedule, he has been very disciplined in terms of what he eats, what time he eats, what time he goes to take rest, which most of us are really struggling. There are times we find ourselves so busy we sleep at 3 a.m. in the morning, and at 7 sharp, you are on your way to the Court of Appeal. And that becomes your lifestyle. Discipline and professionalism. You should be the one to define your own do's and don'ts. And if they work, then as a partnership, as a law firm, as a department within an organization, you should as well define your do's and your don'ts. Why? Because at the end of the day, they will have long-lasting implication in terms of your department. But all of these are within our control. We are being reminded we should also regard other external influencers by appreciating the fact that the things we do potentially are exposing us on risk. And more so, we may end up being found non-compliant. Just recently, the government of Tanzania issued Personal Data Protection Act. As a law firm, as an organization, as a solo practitioner, have you thought, how are you going to ensure compliance with this new law? Last year, some of us, some of the law firms, and I believe you guys, as long as you are in a law firm, expect this is coming to you. We received a letter from Financial Intelligence Unit. They wanted to run AML audit. How are we prepared? First of all, are we all of us registered as representatives? Because if you read the act, by default, lawyers are also the reporting person. Are we registered? If the answer is yes, tick, well and good. How are we making sure compliance with the requirements under the AML laws? And thanks to TLS, I know there are a lot of initiatives that have been taken, but some of us who were audited for the first time from Financial Intelligence Unit, some of the questions you would wonder, say, oh, so is this what is expected of me? Thanks to some of us who are working as international law firm, we were a bit advanced to borrow experience from other jurisdictions. But the point here is awareness, risk management, as well as making sure we comply. Because anything can happen to us anytime. I know this afternoon, Senior Advocate Nicholas Duia is going to discuss with us tax laws. If you recall, and this to our most senior lawyers, some of the law firms were heavily hit in the past by Tanzania Revenue Authority for non-compliance. And I know of at least 1 or 2 law firms, but we need also to ensure as we deliver our work within the organization, we set our own benchmarks. And this is cutting across from the partners to junior lawyers. What are you promising to do for the law firm? And this is more practical to those who are working as in-house. I know most of the corporates, most of the government authorities, you end up being required to enter into performance evaluation contract. Firms, as between the partners, when you begin the year as part of your strategy session, what you individually commit to do for the sustainability of your business, which will have echo effect to our clients. It's very important. That should be addressed. Of course, in the interest of time, I will quickly mention everything has its own challenges. I have listed very few. Most of us are struggling to balance between our legal practice and business management. Thanks, I was lucky to be one of the students who went through the 4 years program at the University of Dar es Salaam. Although we sued the Faculty of Law and the university, they won us. But that 4th year was meant to slowly start building business management capabilities. Partners, we have our own dynamics, but more so, client expectation. These have been very challenging because some of the partners have certain way of doing things. Other partners have certain way of doing things. The answer here is how can we compromise our selfishness and put for the common interest of our law firm. And then, as I said, we need also to observe regulatory compliance. And the last one, as we grow, we should be mindful that we are also growing up. Over time, we'll become more or less redundant. The bigger question is, do we have succession plan? Or when you retire with your business. It's important to have succession plan. For the remaining minutes, can I quickly touch on people management, which I tend to believe most of you are already familiar, and you'll agree with me as I stated, it's always a most complex subject when it comes to dealing with people. But in the end, very rewarding. If you are good on people management, I'm telling you, you will have sleeps like a baby. Why? Because you'll be confident behind you, there are people. Why? Because people management help us to retain good talents, but also deliver quality service to our people. But more so, it makes our business profitable. And it is a process from the hiring until he becomes a junior lawyer, legal assistant, an associate, potential partner, senior. From day one, when you are considering hiring a person, ask yourself, where do you want to see that person in the coming 4 or 5 years? And you define a journey together. My friend, you have joined me today. This is the journey. If you are happy, sign. If you are unhappy, let's part ways, we'll remain friends. It should be a very transparent process and create some kind of inclusivity. Whoever is working with you should feel to be part of the firm. This is where now I mentioned things to do with inclusive culture, team dynamics, but more so, deliberate policies that takes care interest of everyone. And I'm going to pause here because, and forgive me, I might be wrong. There are times have been very gender biased in terms of our law firm management, in terms of our departmental organization structure. And this is traditional. We are not the ones. It's historical. We have always thinking that male lawyers are the best. But I'm telling you, it could be the opposite. But the message here is we should have deliberate measures to appreciate all these dynamics within the law firm, regardless of our ethnicity, regardless of our gender, regardless of our disabilities, as long as we have a common goal, we should be good to work together. I can't repeat emphasizing on technology because my time is almost up. Just to conclude, 4 things. Number 1, for the purpose of law firm management, your structure matters most. You should be the one to decide which structure works for you. And then where we have said there should be defined decision-making processes. And the third one, it's all about people management. But all of this will have bearing to our service delivery to our clients so that we remain as trusted advisors. Let me pause there. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Sijaona mikono ya kutosha mpaka anafika. Naomba tupige mpaka akikaa. That was so rich. So if you didn't learn anything in this particular session, then I don't know what should we do. Tukufanyeje? He was very slow and very, very rich with information. And for us who want to open law firms, I'm sure we have learned something, right? And even us who have the law firms, we know how now to navigate. So thank you so much, and we appreciate. And we were also reminded that lawyers should strive to become the client most trusted legal advisor. I think that was, for me, that's something that I should take, because this is where we are missing most of the time. So this is one of the reminder that we're being reminded this morning. I know there's a lot that we are taking, but we should have this one in our mind. Kwa sababu hii ndo inaharibu profession yetu sana. Asante sana. Sasa our next presenter, you people today, this session, I don't know what I should. Relax. We'll have that time. We'll have the time for the questions. For now, we are going to have presenters. They will present. Then after, we will do the plenary. Okay? So relax. If you have any question, keep it. Write it somewhere. We will have the time for that. Sawa? Nashukuru. So our next presenter is Advocate Harry Mbiru, who is going to, the area of his focus is going to be on business diversification and innovation. So that you know Harry is a senior partner and co-founder at Breakthrough Attorney. He's an accredited arbitrator, mediator, and negotiator, a registered tax consultant, Project Management Institute, Global, currently serving as its Tanzania chapter president, and he is currently attached at CBE University. He's an adjunct lecturer focusing on entrepreneurship, digital economy, and law. He is deeply passionate about impact, innovation, commercialization of such. Harry co-founded and manages Jadili Tanzania, an online platform with over 17,000 members discussing issues of law, policy, economy, and generally development matters. I wish to be part of this, and I'm sure some of you would wish to be part of this. Please explain to us when you come. Harry sits in various boards, including Project Management Institute, Tanzania. He's a board chair and president Alliance Française has a board member and secretary to the board. So you speak French. A board member of Breakthrough Technologies African Limited, a Pan-African technology firm, and board member at Schule Direct. At Breakthrough Aton, his main areas of practice include corporate, commercial, and transaction advisory, alternative dispute resolution, arbitration, negotiation, and mediation, innovation and tech sector regulatory services, project advisory, management, and consultant services. Harry also has vast experience in speaking, writing, training, capacity building, and conducting workshops in various areas including law, capital mobility, and venture capital, innovation, startup, technology, project management, and creative sector. Harry is passionate about growth, sustainable development, knowledge sharing, technology, and how it simplifies work and the future of work, networking, and also Goodwill Project. He's a member of Tanganyika Law Society, PMOA Global, the African List, associate member of Tanzania Institute of Arbitration, member of Tanzania Think Tank, platform of leading change makers in Tanzania. Harry, karibu sana. Tupige makofi mpaka afike. Tunafanya, si ndio? So you share with us your knowledge for 30 minutes, and please be looking at me. Eh? Time to time you look at me there. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. I think business diversification starts with technology issue a bit. Yeah, a few seconds. Again, good morning, guys. Are we still energetic? I think we just came in from breakfast, eh? So my name is Harry Mbiro, and as introduced, I'm a senior partner at Breakthrough Attorneys Partnership currently. I think this is also what necessitated me being chosen to discuss more on the issue of diversification of the legal profession. But people who know me know that I advocate for growth, especially in our sector. I refuse to remain where I am or where I was yesterday. And I believe that for lawyers, if we diversify, not necessarily as an institution or as a firm or as a department, but individually, we will be at a better place. I'm very thankful for the presentation from my brother Dimoso, because it actually opened up many issues that I will touch base on with regards to safe awareness and understanding how we can serve our clients better, but also compete. And the thing here is that we are not competing against fellow lawyers alone. This is the thing that we need to understand. And when we are looking at the diversification, and mostly said, die. So I'm speaking about diversification of legal profession, and I cannot commend enough the Tanganyika Law Society for actually arranging this forum. This is what us as lawyers do need. So quickly, what is diversification? Anybody care to try to explain how they see it? There's no right or wrong answer. What do you think is diversification? Anybody? Ability to do different things. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. So that is the simplest way of putting what diversification is. So generally, we say diversification refers to increase in diversity of something. Increase in the variety or diversity of something. So we tend to usually focus on variety, diversity, or numbers when we're talking about diversification. But there's one very important thing in that statement. The statement increase. Increase presumes there was something to begin with. There was something to begin with. So oftentimes, when people are thinking about diversification, they're thinking about the numbers, the speed of actually diversifying of varieties. But one thing we need to always remember, so diversification now of legal services refers to strategy or action that can be devised and implemented to increase service offerings by a firm. I started by saying I'm thankful to the presentation of the previous speaker because, as you can see, there's a word strategy there. And I think his presentation started with strategy plan. So for a law firm, or now for an individual lawyer, you need to ask yourself, what is my strategy? And how can I increase the service offering that I am giving? That is where diversification starts. It doesn't start with the possibility of things that are out there. It starts with individual assessment. There is that video there. I believe this I will hope that when you get this presentation, you'll watch that video explaining about diversification and why we need to do it in a business. So now come back to the issue of strategy and action plans so that we can increase service offering individually, but as well as an institution. Diversification. Can somebody volunteer to patient? Any taker? If you didn't hear, say we need to diversify because the world is moving so fast. There's so many changes in this world. Another, yes? Brilliant. Another one, I'm getting beautiful answers. Those answers are correct. The biggest diversify is to mitigate your risk. Tuna usemi unasema kimoja. So we are advised to diversify can be mitigated. All our investment and revenue is put out practices or to have multiple streams that cannot or should not suffer if certain risks. The other reason why we need to attract and grab new opportunities. Or new. The world evolves, and with it comes